Hello everyone, welcome back to the RekLes Racing Series. This is our first round of the Spring Series 2026, and tonight's lineup we have top qualifier Jaxon.Kunkel in that AccuBuilt machine right there. 3:11. That's a pretty dang good time considering all these other guys are going super fast. And this is a little confusing for us because we have to go by guest numbers instead of the usual names. But then we have Waffles, number 2 spot, the rigid machine. He had a 3:14.026. Good run by Waffles, pulling out the retro truggy. And then third place, Michael Farley. One of the few people choosing to run a solid axle car this year, as you can see. Most people running a Pro Bug, some are running an independent rear end version of that. And in fourth place, this was Jaxon.Kunkel, running the old school truggy AccuBuilt machine there. And then fifth, we had Alex Jones with the Chaos sponsor. And then DriverTech in sixth place there. He's gonna run the, he's running the independent rear suspension version. And Chournos on the last row, I think he's just sandbagging. We'll expect to see some passes out of Chournos tonight. And we're gonna go up, tab back to the front row, and we're gonna count these guys down. Here we go. They're off. Looks like the truggy gets a little bit of a hole shot on that Grulo. Shocking, that Grulo is 854 horsepower. Go over here to the truggy with 726 horsepower, but what's the weight? Weight difference, 4,900 pounds. Yeah, that's even a lighter and more powerful car. Must have spun the tires. Looks like Waffles pretty much has the whole shot locked up here for the physical lead of round 1 of the 2026 Spring Series. Tier 2 away. Michael Farley and Jaxon.Kunkel. Looks like the truggy is definitely going to take the whole shot on this Bronco. But the thing about running a solid axle car is you're not going to try to keep a high-powered desert car behind you. You're going to let them go knowing that you'll get it back in the rocks. Looks like Waffles and Jaxon, or like Waffles and Jaeger, are holding pretty close here. Let's go back to the line. It's Alex Jones and DriverTech. DriverTech using the independent rear suspension version of this car. It's going to get the whole shot, stretch out the lead a little bit. And Chournos waits patiently. Good looking car though. Alright, good luck Chournos. Let's go check on the leaders. Pretty even spacing. It looks like Jaeger just rolled out of the speed right there quite a bit. Don't know if he's playing it safe or if there's already something wrong with his vehicle. But that is Senior Waffles out front. Jaeger second place. Going back third place. Looks like Jaxon.Kunkel is going to hold on to that. Michael Farley, our reigning champion, holding down the fourth spot. Just going to hang right there in podium contention. He's going to make his move in lap 3. DriverTech holds off Alex as they make their way out in the desert. Alex is going to blow the turn just a little bit wide, but that's going to give him a big run going into the sand. You got to be careful. Sometimes you carry too much speed You come out here by what we call cell phone bush, and this corner can be a little tricky to make. You see driver pitches it sideways very aggressively to get it to rotate. Alex flicks it in the kin block style. And Chournos is about to make his way through this gotcha bump. And from here, this is where lap 1 really begins. It's going to be a lot of flat out desert. As you can see, Waffles doing that right there. Airspeed 70 miles an hour at full throttle. The sand is really dense and it does suck a lot of the power out of the car. And on top of that, it doesn't have any grip. So a lot of rolling resistance going forward, but not a lot lateral. Michael Farley's keeping it nice and straight through there in the solid axle car though. You can see their throttle work. On, off, on, off. Kind of like a toggle switch there. I think most of these guys are using an Xbox controller versus a simulator, if not most all. That's similar airspeed to Waffles. Alex Jones is getting it up 98 miles an hour out here. There's quite a bit of dirt in that section right there, so you can pick up a little more speed and try to carry that into the sand. Go back and check on Chournos. A little bit of throttle modulation out of Chournos. I've seen some 75%, some 100, 75, but 100 miles an hour, triple digits in the sand by Chournos. Coming to this rock section, gives it a big scanty flick. Very clean, very smooth. That is a challenging spot, and has definitely ended a lot of people's races, including my own. Going with DriverTech. He's kind of a master at keeping it smooth. He likes to set up his cars a little more sloppy than most people, a little more body roll, but it just gives it the English when you're out in the desert. You flick it around, and as long as you know where those little gotcha rocks are, like the one that he just left a black mark on, and don't hit them, you'll be fine. Oh, Jaeger, what is going on? Oh, no. Oh, good. Glad to see it was just a little bit of desync and not actually a server disconnect or loss of control. Looks like he has carried a decent pace, but Waffles is pulling away a little bit, getting a little bit of breathing room. Lap 1's all about just keeping it together and not wasting any time. Because, I mean, if you were to break your car in the desert on a track this challenging, you'd be pretty frustrated with yourself. That's for the solid axle guys. Really have to pace themselves and not overcook it, especially in these whoop sections. But Michael Farley's your reigning champion. He knows what he's doing. Uh-oh. Looks like Jaxon.Kunkel took a tumble. We're not going to get quite an accurate representation of what his damage is on our screen. He may have broken some steering, and the wheel is actually still attached on his screen, where he's trying to pin his tie rod so then he can limp his way back to the pits. Alex Jones taking a middle line through there, clipping a little bit of bush, but gathers it up before he gets into the rocks. Nice scanty flick around there. Good style points. Looks like he is chasing the dust. That always gets you excited and brings out the little mistakes here and there when you start to get to somebody's dust, because not only is your vision impaired, you start to get excited and know that if I just push a little bit more, I could catch that guy. And that's going to be Sam Chournos' whole race right now, is trying to run people down, because even though this race is on corrected time, you know if you finish physically last, even if you run a clean race, you're probably not going to be where you want to be. And little mistakes like that are what really make a guy push, because he could have ran so much slower, but if he just didn't make that one mistake, he would be right on time. But now that he's made that mistake, he really has to push to make up for it, which then leads to another mistake. But I know Chournos is cool under pressure. I'm sure he'll bring it in. DriverTech looks like his car is still running pretty clean. I've not reset him yet. Same with Jaeger coming back into Hammertown to complete lap 1 already. Waffles has already completed lap 1 and is going back into the desert. A 6:58 lap 1 for Waffles and 7 flat out. Wow, that is fast. We'll go ahead and fix that so we don't have to look at it. What we're seeing there is some desync where his car really isn't that broken. It's just that in a multiplayer simulator like this, each computer is calculating everyone's vehicle, and it has to be simplified in order to make sense for the computers. Michael doing a little throttle work, get the car rotate through the berm, gets good exit speed as he heads back out in the desert. And it looks like Jaxon is limping the car through. If he makes it back to the pits, he's going to get a 2-minute penalty instead of an 8-minute penalty if he were to repair anywhere else on the trail. Alex Jones in the Chaos car. Big brake stab, flicks it in there hard, catches the apex, good exit. Very clean short course by Alex. Back out into the desert. This is where it starts to get a little bit rowdy because there's going to be some rocks on the side of the trail, and clipping just one of those can take out a tire or a tie rod, which is one of the things where a lot of these racers in the top servers really shine, because it is so difficult to drive at these speeds and stay within the course boundaries, and let alone not hit one of those big rocks that'll just take you out. Watch driver work his way up through the first little rocky section. I wouldn't call this an obstacle or anything, mostly just nuisance rocks, but sometimes those are the ones that are most likely to take you out because you're not quite giving them the respect they deserve. As you see, driver has ran this section many times and knows how to just pick the right side of the track all the time to not get caught up on those big diff hangers that'll bring you to a complete stop. And Jaeger is starting to work his way up the first rock trail. Let's see if Waffles is still in frame, and he is. Judging by this rock section, Waffles is stretching out his lead a little bit, but they're still pretty close. If you can see the dust of the other car, which is, well, Waffles is starting to check out pretty good right there. That's as long as he doesn't make any major mistakes. But one rollover is all it would take, and then Jaeger would be right back up in there challenging for the lead. And Waffles hits one of those diff rocks I was talking about that will stop you dead in your tracks. Hopefully, oh no, this is tragic for Waffles. I don't know if his wheel actually broke off, but he is definitely experiencing some damage here and is going to try to do the forklift certification back up the hill. I think he has no choice but to take a trail repair right here. Unfortunate break for Waffles, who was out to an early lead. But that gives #1 spot to Jaeger, who you can tell by the sound of his car. Look at the gas, brake, throttle work. This is true modulation right here. Saw a little clutch coming up. Not sure what that's from, but see the throttle modulation there. It's not completely on. It's not completely off. That is the kind of control you'll see out of a professional race driver. And I don't know what Waffles is doing, because he's just going to have to take that repair. His car is broke, unfortunately. Here, a little wooey. We got some traffic. Oh! DriverTech caught up to Alex and Michael Farley. Made the pass on both of them, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he started in 6th place. Nice move, driver. He is running smooth, making up time. His car has that independent rear suspension that can be a nuisance in the desert if you slap the rear end down really hard, but in the rocks, not having that rear differential allows him to take smoother lines and carry more speed without the differential hanging up. As you can see, these guys come past Waffles' tire, which, judging by the fact that that tire is still there, that means he is not reset yet, and is attempting to drive through this backwards to make it to remote pits, which are over there. I don't know if that's a realistic goal for Waffles, but I see that he is not going to give up and hit that trail repair button yet. Let's go back, check on Chournos. Chournos looks like he may have a right rear flat, but that is probably just on our display here and not actual. But I do know that if he did have a flat, he would be driving on it because, like I just showed a minute ago, remote pit is within sight. Definitely not close. Waffles is going to try to use the limpet in reverse technique, drag the broken limb backwards because it's easier to drag than push, as Michael Farley is bashing his solid axle car through this rock section. You can kind of see a representation of the damage that he's done to it. He might have all 4 tires on his screen, but if it looks like that, that means he has been driving aggressively. And Chournos has, I believe, reeled in his first and second victims right here as he makes his way up from the back of the pack. Alex Jones lost a couple body panels going through there, but as long as they don't get too caught up in your tires and wheels, you'll be all right. Go back up here and check on DriverTech as he's working his way up through the pack. Jaeger, your current physical leader, comes out of the rocks back into the desert and is working his way towards remote pit. There are 2 remote pits on this track, but on this area, this environment, but this race config only uses 1. However, they both are live, so if you're racing and you brake and you're near the other remote pit, you can travel cross country to it as long as you return to the course from where you left and do not drive backwards on the course at any point. Driver, starting in 6th place, has already worked his way up to physical 2nd and is reeling in the leader here. Like I said, his car is slightly different. Let's tab over to him and check out his horsepower numbers. 810, 4853. Power to weight ratio of 0.167. And then let's pop up here to Jaeger and see what he's running. 854, 4915. 0.174 horsepower to weight ratio. The main difference between these 2 cars, first and second right now, is this one has that independent rear suspension, which, like I was saying, in the desert can cause reverse slap wheelies if you're not careful. But in these technical rock sections, he is able to really make up time and work through smoothly. As you can see, he is already in Jaeger's dust. If Driver can make a clean run here, I think has a good chance of pulling this off, because coming from 6th place, 3rd row, he has 1 minute of corrected time already, and then plus the time he made up. So that's that's pretty good odds so far. He just has to keep it together. It looks like Jaeger may have some damage. We don't know 100%. I'm not going to repair his car yet until I confirm that he does not have damage. And Waffles. Farley is going to stop at the pit. Michael Farley takes a pit with a solid axle car that looked like it did take a beating in those rocks. Jaxon.Kunkel coming through. We'll see if he pits. He does not. He's going to stay out. So that means either he took a trail repair up on the hill or is still running well. Let's go check on. Yes, indeed. Waffles is going to limp his car in and make that pit repair. So that will be a 6-minute difference for him. So instead of being 8 minutes behind plus the ground he lost, he will only be 2 minutes behind. And he has quite a bit of space to cover here, but I bet he'll be over at those other name tags within 4 minutes. He's going to be frozen here for 10 seconds while his car resets, and then I bet you after that we are going to see Mr. Waffles do some driving here. Did driver get physical lead? No, not yet. Jaeger's still hanging on to it. I'm going to reset Jaeger's car because if he's holding off... Oh, wrong button. We'll take a screenshot of that anyways. And Waffles goes for the gap jump. As I was saying, we're about to see some driving here, folks. Watch that gas brake. He is toggle switch on off, but that's part of running the Xbox controllers. I've seen people do throttle modulation with them pretty well, but it is not easy. Run these things more like a nitro RC car at that point where they're on, off, on, off. This rock section right here has gotten the best of me so many times. But I'm one of those weirdos that likes to run first-person view, so right here really all you see is sky, and then you break over this edge that is completely blind. Sometimes going down the hills it's easier in first-person view because you can see the rocks in front of you versus the back of a car, but going up the hills and over the crests when you can only see the sky can be a bit of a crutch at times. You can see Waffles being careful. He's going to have to watch out for the rock in the bush right up here. There's a rock on the right side. Keeps people honest. They don't cut that corner. Had some complaints about it, but, you know, don't cut that corner. Waffles completely sending it through there. I think he just gapped over that last little double section. Right up here is a nasty little rut. High-speed section, but it has a little catch rut right here. We'll see if he can avoid it. Indeed. Beautiful work by Waffles. He is absolutely flying through here. But those other name tags are still quite a ways away. But I think he made the right call. I doubted it at first, but limping it back to the pits definitely was the right choice. If I'm not mistaken, Jaxon might still be limping some damage because he is definitely one of the faster guys around here. And it looks like these other guys are pulling away from him a little bit. And that car pulling away from him would be Michael Farley, and the only solid axle car in this server. Up on top of the hill, Sam Chournos. He is checking people off one by one. He has not repaired yet. Gonna take the right line down through there. I like that right line. I don't even know how to take the other one. But oh, he hooks a wheel. That's gonna cause him to lose it on our view, so I am going to tab over to Chournos and repair that damage just because I know his car is better off than that. And not too far ahead, Alex Jones. Same vehicle as Chournos, different tunes, I'm sure. Alex coming off the rocks and about to complete lap 2. DriverTech already has and is back out on course, and it looks like he made the pass on Jaeger. I don't know if maybe Jaeger had to pit. Let's see if that shows on our new RekLes Racing timing board up here. We'll cycle the displays down. We just have VCPs. We do not have repairs on here, but oh, here we go. What's going on? Was it just an off course? Okay, I thought maybe he was going back to the pits for a second there. But it looks like, yeah, new physical leader, DriverTech, out front. He's one of those people we give a special thanks to for being a volunteer admin. Shows up to 99.9% of the races and helps us keep score and make sure everybody behaves themselves. And Jaxon.Kunkel working his way nice and easy down through what we would call the OG qualifying course. Nice and smooth, gas brake. It takes 2 pedals to drive these cars, that's for sure. If you try to drive with 1 foot, yeah, you're going to be leaving a lot of time on the table and probably having some unnecessary damage by going off the trail. Always a tricky section coming off of that hill and threading the needle through those rocks. I usually go about 35 through there. I've seen other people going about 65 down through there. Alex sends it big over the roll. Holy cow, coming in hot as he takes his lap 2. Oh, this is his lap 3 into a section we call baby heads. So this is where lap 3 starts to really wear you down for a car that's been beat through the desert at top speed, through some moderate rock trails. Now you're going to go into some very nuisance rock heavy areas where line choice is very critical. One mistake, one little catch of a tie rod, and yeah, there's really no way to limp it back to the pits from here. So you're kind of committed at this point. You got to keep the car together. Driver has a spike ball for his right rear. Let's hope that's not the case. We'll fix his car and see if the driving characteristics dictate that he's dragging on that side, which it does not, as he puts the power down on the right rear tire right there. A little bit of step out there, so you never know. He may have a flat. However, Jaeger wants that top spot back, and he is running very clean and smooth through there, making that look easy. It is so hard to keep your momentum in these rocks because, like I was saying, if you hit one just wrong, if you tap your brakes and drop your bulkhead down into one of those rocks on the ground, it will stop you in your tracks. Let's see how Waffles is doing on his comeback. He has caught back up to the pack. And it looks like DriverTech is stretching out his lead. As he gets into where I would consider this is where the technical rock sections start on lap 3. So this is where the people with experience and the rock crawlers are really going to start to shine, because sections like this, it can take up to 5 or 6 attempts to make this climb. Driver is going to shoot it on the second time. Looks like one lineup bump and then second shot gets it done. But it is kind of a good spot right here to make up some time, because every once in a while you'll get here and there's a traffic jam. And if you can come through and one-shot that and get out of there, it will definitely help you make up some positions. this little crevice right here is no joke either. You can get very pinched in here, but driver's going to wiggle his way through. Slams the door on there. This spot could be challenging for this particular car. The way the independent rear suspension pushes the weight transfer to the rear can do that. Luckily, driver probably saw that coming and was ready for it. If he can go up it in reverse, that would get the weight working more for him than against him. As you see, he puts on a clinic on how to do that. We call that forklift certified. I believe he's the one that coined that phrase. And there you have it. It's a trick in the UTV racing too. Sam Chournos, from the back of the pack, up to physical second right now. Makes it up that first obstacle pretty clean. We'll see if he can get through this pinch all right. Meanwhile, Alex Jones closes up on the physical third spot. Let's turn on some name tags here and check out. Let's see, Alex Jones, 6:53. 6:53 is also third place on corrected time. Sam Chournos, 4:47. 4:47 is second place on corrected. So right now our physical positions are also corrected time. Sam Chournos is going to have the overall advantage on the amount of time he's made up, unless he took a pit repair somewhere, which this does not calculate, but we will find out later. And driver is at this second little technical waterfall where that rear weight transfer definitely plays a role. And Sam Chournos with the solid axle car that has unsprung weight in the rear versus the 100% sprung weight, or 99% sprung weight of DriverTech, who is trying to forklift this one as well. Meanwhile, Jaxon is caught up and is like, hey man, what are you doing over there? Mind if I get by you? But if I know driver, he's pretty quick on the sticks. He will get this thing up there. And if not, he will get out of the way, but he doesn't want to, because if he has to bow out of this, not only does he have Jaeger just going to get past him, so will Alex Jones. Because at this point, if you default on an obstacle like this, you're going to be back a bus. Chournos still working on this technical climb up here. Let's tab over to Sam. I want to show you guys what this hill climb looks like in first-person view. He's already got past the worst of it, but it is by braille, and you just have to be looking for those little signs. And Sam is out of there, and is this where they work their way up to Razorback, or they drop off again? Yeah, this is Razorback Ridge right here, folks. So Sam Chournos started in last place and is now your first driver to get to the Razorback Ridge. But he is not alone. That's just like the photo. I gotta print screen that. Nice work, Chournos. That is awesome. Look at that, all these guys on the ridge at the same time. That's amazing. Alright, sorry about that. Back to the race. Oh no! Oh no, Chournos! What has happened? This is why Razorback Ridge is so famous. Oh, I thought he fell off for a second. That's just the exit to it. It's a pretty good drop off, as we'll follow Alex off of here. A lot of these downhills are very deceiving, and you can't really use the brakes because only your front tires are touching the ground and you're already tipping over forward. So the more you hit the brakes, the more you tip over. Ooh, DriverTech catches a bad little twist, as this negative twist in the turn of events in the race for him, going from 6th place, working his way up to physical lead, and now I believe has fallen back to 4th place physical. Jaeger's keeping some pressure on Chournos, maybe even making a pass right here. I think Chournos got off course, maybe tumbled down the hill. Alex Jones right there, keeping these guys honest. If Alex has stayed off the repair button thus far, it's anybody's race. Chournos definitely has the biggest advantage on corrective time starting in the back, so if these guys beat him, they will have to beat him by over 2 minutes. So if Alex were to get around him, he would have to, or no, Alex was second row, so Alex would be 30 seconds. Jaeger was front row, so Jaeger needs to finish at least 2 minutes in front of physical second right now if he wants to hold down this lead, given that Chournos has not hit that repair button yet, either in the pits or on trail. Nice tight racing here in server 1 though. I mean, we have the whole field on lap 3 in one shot. This is amazing. This is a pretty cool spot right up here. This is an extremely difficult downhill right-hander where in the vehicles that have it, I use front dig coming through here. It's kind of hard to tell how steep this actually is, especially considering how easy those guys just went through it. But basically, you're dropping off straight down in a stair step. Looks like a little traffic is going on as Alex Jones wiggles his way up that little ledge, getting into this little crossover section. Physical first and second are pulling out, heading back out to the desert. Watch Alex work his way down the stair step. It's that rock on the outside that really gets you. That's where running front dig through there, holding a little handbrake if you have it. DriverTech is not going to waste any time. And Waffles has worked his way back up with the fast guys. But he does have, at minimum, a pit repair under his belt right now. And hopefully that's just desync damage and he hasn't already destroyed his car again. Driver's getting a little frustrated with Alex. I'm guessing Alex has some damage as he's trying to wiggle through here, and Driver's going to search for an alternate line. Alex is getting out of the way. I'm guessing that he has suffered some pretty terminal damage. A little contact with Waffles. They almost get stuck together, which can definitely happen. And judging by the way Waffles is working through here, he has some damage. The fact that Alex got out of the way, he must have some pretty significant damage as well. Driver working his way down the hill. We'll see if anybody breaks off over here and tries to limp a shortcut to a remote pit. Chournos out of the rocks back to the desert. Try to reel in Jaeger here, because if he can finish this close to Jaeger without a trail repair, he has it locked up for sure. Or without a pit repair. Because, man, he could technically have a pit repair and still win this if he finishes within 30 seconds of Jaeger. Don't quote my math on there, it's just a theory. This is where I need a co-host so I can think a little bit while they talk. Difficult thing for me to do at the same time. Chournos looking pretty clean, sending it off big bounce out of control, but brings it right back. That's probably just the line he takes, because that's the one I get stuck on every time I go through there. Come into that G out just a little too hot, pop it off course, go back on. It's not that that's like the right way to do it, but that just seems to be what happens every single time. A lot of action can happen right here, especially if you have damage. High speed section, and if you clip anything, it's game over. Waffles is going to do a little farewell to his wheel there. Let's just tab over and fix some cars here, because oh, Driver, that's probably what Driver's car somewhat looks like. Not that bad, but you know what I'm saying. Jaeger's looking pretty clean, running physical first right now. Waffles, I don't think he has that much damage while going that fast. There is a chance that Farley does actually have that broken wheel, which would be an unfortunate event for your current champion. Oh, and if he didn't have a broken wheel, he probably does now, because that was a hit and a half. So I think he is limping some damage. We'll probably see him pull into pit 2 over there, which will for sure be the second one for him. Jaxon.Kunkel's car still has the same roll cage damage as it did before, so I'm going to assume he has not taken any trailer pit repairs. Hood flying up for Alex Jones as he's trying to hang with the pack. I'm guessing he ended up taking a trail repair back there, considering he got out of the way, and now he is absolutely flying. Literally. Same line as we were talking before. I think that's just how you run that spot. Get back in the groove, don't hit the rocks. Chournos, physical second. Car has taken a beating, but seems to still be going really straight through these whoops, so I'm going to reset it. That way we don't have to watch those tires go back and forth like that, because there's no way that's what his steering looks like if he's going this fast. And I think he wants physical first. Like, he wants to make a point. I mean, I think the guys are kind of dogging him a little bit in qual, and he says, what? Slight mistake right there, but when you're on a tear like this, it's bound to happen. Ooh, either driver limped it back over to the pits, or he is a trail repair down. Unfortunate turn of events for driver. He was running a great race, running really strong in the beginning, starting in 6th place, working his way up to physical first, and checking out on lap 2. But Mr. Consistent up here has been running at or near the front of the pack the whole time. I don't believe he's taken repair yet. And then Waffles, he had a massive break on the big ridge on lap 2 and had to work his way all the way back down to remote pit with what looked like a completely missing wheel. There's that other pit over there I was talking about, where if you had some substantial damage right here, you could work your way over to those pits and then come back and rejoin the course where you left off. Farley definitely fixed his car, because he is hauling through this section. This is one of my favorite sections on this track. Very high speed. You have to memorize it, and as you float over these rolls, already be heading in the direction you need to go. And this is these little nuisance rocks on the outside that will just take out a tire so easily. It's kind of deceiving, because the smaller the rock, the more likely it is to take out a tire in here. Nice and smooth and clean. Man, these guys are going to wrap this thing up quick. Alex Jones is determined to catch Jaxon.Kunkel before the end of this. Oh, okay. Dang it, I meant to fix Alex. Okay. Because, yeah, Jaxon has had that damage the whole time, and that's how I can tell if he's taking a reset or not. Looks like everyone blowing that corner, but, you know, hey, that's just when you're going this fast, I guess once you get off course, as long as you work your way back to it as quick as possible. Ooh, big buck off that Gia. Motocross whip by Alex Jones, but he cannot quite reel it in. And Chournos, physical lead, Mr. from the back of the pack to the front, makes it up back door, as he's going to run what we call the OG qualifying course for one last time. Mr. Waffles all the way back up to physical second. At least one pit repair under his belt, but that's a pretty good gig. Or no, he wouldn't be physical second, he'd be physical third. Or did Chournos drop back? What the heck? Okay, yep, Jaeger is way out front. What is going on here? That was not Jaeger. Where is Jaeger? Did Waffles seriously make it back to physical second and is now reeling in Chournos? No, okay. I just missed him in the dust. They were so close together. Alright, Waffles physical third. Jaeger physical second, and Sam Chournos out front, starting from the back of the pack. Nice work getting it done. He is going to just do everything he possibly can to stay smooth and not come to a complete stop at this point, where he knows he can't relax with Jägermeister right behind him, but he also knows that one mistake and this is over. So he needs to just keep it clean, no mistakes, nice and steady. As I speak of the devil, he flops it on his side, and there goes Jaeger back for physical first. What a race. This is amazing. Oh, and Jaeger sends it a little too big off the high dive. Belly flops. Chournos coming back. He's going to get around him. Hopefully they don't get tangled up, too stuck together. Very dangerous in BeamNG to make contact, especially with body panels and things like this. And here comes Waffles. He's like, hey, you guys like to party? I like to party. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. These guys from the back of the pack to the front. But Jaeger is not giving it up yet. This is the section I was talking about, where I go about half the speed of everybody else. So there's Waffles coming through at about 65. Cost him a little bit on the exit, but it's not over yet. Jaeger sends it huge into that uphill face on our little cross grain section. I'm gonna come up here and check out this drop made famous by Lauren Healy. I bet you Chournos is gonna textbook this thing, or shenanigans. Sends it all the way. Bottoms out that bulkhead, but whatever. Nice and smooth for Jaxon. Waffles double taps it. And frickin' Sam Chournos. Nice run, buddy. That was awesome. And look at these guys. Waffles, that's a little aggressive. Waffles is going to take physical second. Jaeger third right behind him. What a race, guys. 43. Oh, we only have one time finish, though, unfortunately. I wonder if someone missed a VCP. Let's go back, check on the rest of the field, who is in physical fourth right now. Physical fourth, 988, Jaxon.Kunkel, which is your current third place on corrected time. He definitely has some damage, but isn't even going to think about hitting that repair button right now with the finish line that close. Alex Jones hanging in there. Looks like he took a little tumble coming down that hill. Same spot that got Jaeger, I believe. DriverTech just smashing through these rocks. Same with Farley. These guys are gloves off. No tires, no problems. Like, oh, not a good sign. If a car freezes for 10 seconds, that usually means that they have taken a trail repair. Your one and only solid axle car, Michael Farley. Next racer coming in. This will be Jaxon.Kunkel. He is going to play it safe and go around the outside line. I usually do. It can be ran quite swiftly, but he's still going to catch one of those boulders there. I'm guessing he is probably missing an appendage or two. Michael Farley taking the same line, playing it safe, because he is probably also suffering from some pretty significant damage or missing pieces. And he's going to get the physical pass on Jaxon.Kunkel. And absolutely sends it into the short course, crossing the rails. No way he's missing a wheel. but I would say Jaxon probably does not have all 4. As our next driver, the DriverTech himself, definitely suffering probably from some kind of damage is what we're seeing. Sends it off the drop. Straight through, does not get caught up in the nuisance rocks on the outside. Alex Jones coming in, also beat and broken. Catches a rock on the outside, but slows down just enough to keep it on all 4 or all 3 tires, however many he has left. And that is going to be our Server 1 Pro Class race for tonight. RekLes Racing Series, Spring 2026, Round 1 at Johnson Valley. Unofficial leaderboard so far is 347. Which is, I'm guessing, Sam Chournos. 347 Sam Chournos with 43 minutes, 10 seconds. And then second place, 660. That would be Mr. Waffles, who had that devastating break early on and worked his way back up to not only physical second, but second on unofficial corrected time. 611. Michael Farley, current champion, finished, I believe, physical 4th, but corrected 3rd so far. We didn't seem to get a time for Jaeger. Jaeger was 1:53, which oddly enough, maybe his time never started. Interesting. Well, I'm sure the guys are sorting that out in the race control booth, and I'll tap over there and see if I can get some official results. All right, just spoke with the guys in the booth, and they have sorted it out. Seems how Waffles and Jaeger started on the same row, they'll be able to get a time for Jaeger. He had some instability during lap 2, which caused an error in the timing system. It happens. BeamNG does not have a multiplayer system, so we are working on like 3 levels of mods here to make this happen, and just happy it works as well as it does. So we did get a time for Jaeger. I don't have the official tabulation yet. That will be up shortly, and if I'm not able to give it to you now, it will be available later on RekLesRacing.com under live results. You guys cool with me just adding this chat to the live stream for like a little post-race deal? Yeah. Yeah, alright. Not too not too tame.
So everybody eat, right?
Yeah, everyone's done. We're good. It was a fast race.
Fast race, and everybody's back into like 2 minutes between each other.
Oh yeah.
Uncorrected, at least.
Yeah, good race, guys. That was fun to watch. That was I was thinking we're already done. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Everybody was flying.
I even got me and Jackson battling through baby heads.
That was a good battle.
That was a little risky.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was like,
Yeah,
should I
I saw
push
my
this?
one gap to get back to you before the big rocks, and I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
taking
Yeah, and then I caught back up and I'm like, I'm just gonna go over this rock here real quick and
My favorite move of the night was jumping over Alex in lap 2 to pass him and Michael. That was a fun move.
Were you roof to roof as you were flipping?
I know I did the kickflip after I made the pass, so I passed over him and then it kicked a rock on the other side, and then it did a kickflip, and so he was stuck behind me going up a hill now.
And
I
Waffle.
how I got.
That was a hell of a run, Waffles, from the top. We saw you do the forklift certification coming down, and then you made it back to the pits. And then
Dude, that was the most infuriating time I've had in this car. It was just painful coming down that without a corner at all.
so
Oh my
it was a whole corner. We were wondering, like, kind of.
Yeah. So I got a flat tire in the same spot I always get a flat tire.
You get a
And
flat, this thing immediately rips the tire, or the whole
Immediately
wheel.
rips the tire. Yep. Immediately rips the wheel off, and you're just left with your knuckle, essentially. And not
Yeah.
even the knuckle. Knuckle falls off too.
Yeah, it looked like Jackson was struggling with the same thing a little bit.
Yeah. It's rough. But
Yeah.
yeah, once I got down that, and I was about a minute behind everyone, I just dropped a gear and keep up.
Yeah, no, that was. It was nice having everybody all grouped up. Just so many times where the whole field was in one shot, like Razorback Ridge. Like everybody was just cruising up that. I wish I could have stopped.
Razorback was crazy.
I wish I could have stopped
Oh,
and took
yeah.
more pictures, but it was wild.
I made a pass on Michael. Michael was stuck on the S bin going up, and I went around on that right line where you shoot out the wall.
Yeah.
And I
Oh, yeah.
And that was like money shot right there.
Yeah, that lap 3, those little S curves were kind of a little switch up, going up those climbs where driver had to go up backwards and then.
Yeah, I
Kinda-
had a flat rear tire on that section from baby heads.
Oh,
So
okay.
From baby heads to just past that, I carried a flat rear right tire.
Oh
I
gosh.
told you to repair in like right after baby head. Yeah, no wonder you
Yeah.
lost time and place.
Yeah, I thought I had enough knowledge on this track that I could just send it to the pit.
Knowledge is
And-
one thing, but like ability to actually do that is
Well,
lacking.
I made it pretty far.
Well, that car naturally
yeah.
transfers a lot of weight to the back too on those climbs.
It does, and that's what got me in the end, was trying to go up that little climb up to Razorback. Was I just couldn't get the traction without it trying to flip over.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's.
I need to give you
And
more
so-
space.
I let everyone through as I repaired. I think it was Alex and somebody else in a gorilla went past me.
I think it might
And
have
then
been Chournos.
Yeah, Chournos went past me first, and then Alex and one other car went past me in a group.
Jaeger.
Then I followed up. Yeah, Jaeger. Then I followed Alex and them up, flipping Alex the siren the whole way up.
Yeah, I was going down the other side. I heard that siren going.
Your car is a
Yeah,
lap 2
I
killer
agree
though.
too.
It just goes through the nuisance rocks like nothing because there's no rear diff
yeah.
and it just.
No. Lap 2 was definitely my favorite lap of the race. It was just moving the way I wanted it to move.
Heck yeah.
What a race.
It was
So
a good one.
Chournos won, right?
We'll have official results at some point.
Well, at least in our server, I believe.
In our server, yeah, Chournos won.
And
Unless you, yeah.
Jaeger ran clean, right? No repairs.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right, but he
But
started
he's
front
2
row.
minutes- Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
2 minutes behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't
Chournos
make
started in the
sense.
very you started in the very back row, Chournos, so the delay of
Oh, was 2
you
minutes
leaving
plus the physical.
after, and then you physically beat him. So that means you beat him by at least 2 minutes physically.
Yeah.
Oh, at
Not-
least,
It,
yeah, I
was,
forgot.
it was 2 minutes exactly.
Yeah. If you can pass him,
Oh, I put
One
the
course
wrong
from-
time up. That's why it's 8-minute pit, not a 3.
He didn't have any.
Right, I know. I was subtracting from your time, and I accidentally only subtracted 3 for some reason, not 5. Or
It
8.
is 3.
yeah, it's 3. 3-minute
is it?
pit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a 3 minutes.
Oh, 3-minute pit. Okay, I keep getting that wrong.
Why for some reason, but his time is 6 minutes slower than mine. I don't think he finished 4 minutes behind me.
He should be a 45:09
Yeah.
because I'm a 48:09.
Let's see here.
Unless you have my name.
Let's see. 48:09. Oh, I just put 06. So, seems like I finished 4 minutes ahead of you guys.
Well, you finished 2 minutes ahead, but you started last. So that was
Wait,
worth
no,
a
I
couple
wrote the
minutes.
wrong time down.
Yeah, you are a
Gosh,
43:10.
Yeah, I thought for some reason that 153 threw me off because I forgot that was Jaeger's and the numbers, yeah.
Right, because not only did you make up 2 minutes, you started with 2-minute advantage.
Right,
So-
right.
So you have corrected time and made up time just to physically get there. That's a hell of a push.
Thank you. Yeah, my bad. I wrote my time wrong, my wrong time down.
Gotta say, running lap 3 with a clean car is a hell of a lot nicer right now.
What?
Screenshot of when 4 or 5 of us were all on Razorback.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
pretty
actually,
cool.
that's sick.
Where's the live ad on YouTube or what?
Yeah. Jeremy's got live on the YouTube.
Yeah,
It was live on Twitch for the whole thing as well.
Razorback was amazing. I wish I could have saved that moment and taken some better screenshots of it, because it was everybody working up it at the same time. It was just like the preview that Sam made for the series, basically,
Sam
but,
made, yeah.
but happening live. Like,
It's 32. Wait, I can't see what the. If you go back 33 minutes, it shows.
Well, yeah, good racing, everybody.
31,
I'm gonna end off
40
my
seconds.
stream.
yep, that's a wrap. Spring Series
Yeah,
round
that
one
was-
in the
that feels
books.
like it was like a 10-minute race.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say check out RekLesRacing.com later for official results.
Yeah.
What's the YouTube, Jeremy? YouTube, RekLes?
RekLes Racing.
I posted a link on the Discord under live streaming.
Streaming. It's just above all the voice calls.
Okay.